Michelle with Pink and Maine. Thanks for joining me today. I'm going to be putting together the cards from our quick card kit, Autumn Cuties. Our quick card kits come with everything you need to put together 8 awesome cards. All you need to add is your favorite glue or adhesive. The card kits come with an image assembly guide, so you can easily know what parts and pieces go on what card, or you can always mix them up and make your own creations. There's so much fun to put together, so let's get started. I've done a little prep work here. I've gone through all my parts and pieces, and I've folded my card bases, and I put all the pieces that go to a card inside a card base. That way I can grab the card base and put the card together and know that everything that's inside goes with that card. I'm going to be putting them together like they're shown on the assembly guide, but like I said, you can mix and match and make your own personal creations. The Autumn Cuties card kit also includes some extra little die cut pieces that are not part of a certain card. So you can add them to the cards that you like, or you can decorate your envelopes. The card kits also come with 8 envelopes. So these cards will be ready to go and give to your loved ones. You also get a sheet of embellishments. This time there are gold glossy dots. The gold just picks up the colors for these fall cards really nicely, and we can add these to our cards just to add a little extra finishing touch. So I'll grab our first card. All of the card bases are A2 size cards, so they're 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches when folded. So I've got all the pieces here for the card that has this cute truck with the little bear in the back with a barrel of apples. Really sweet. Now I've gone ahead as I pulled the pieces for each card, and I have added foam adhesive to the back of some of the pieces that I want to kind of pop up. It's not required. You can glue everything flat down to the card. It'll look just as nice, but it adds a little extra dimension when you put a little foam tape behind some of the pieces. So I'm going to start by gluing this base piece down to the card front. I am using our Easy Squeeze craft glue. It's our liquid glue to put these together. And when you're using liquid glue, a little bit goes a long way. When I'm pressing out the glue onto the paper, I am holding the nozzle of the glue to the paper so only a thin line of glue comes out. Any extra glue you add to the back is going to squish out the sides. Just adding the sentiment strip here. It says apple of my eye. And then I'm going to add this little semicircle here, and this is where the truck is going to sit. And I'm going to add my truck and build my little scene. I've added some foam tape to the back of the bear, so it pops up a little bit sitting there. I've also added it to this little barrel of apples. I'm going to put down here next to the truck. You add a couple of apples, and then I've got these little banner pieces that are going to go up in the top left corner. There's our card so far. I'm just going to add a couple of these little enamel dots to finish it off. And there's our first card. Isn't it sweet? These are so much fun to put together, and they're really relaxing. It's something you could sit and do in front of the television. It's something the kids could do. They're just a lot of fun. Our next card has some floral elements. So again, I'm going to start by adding the base piece to the card, and this one fits just inside the card base, so you have a little bit of a white border around it. I leave my glue laying horizontally while I'm working on these cards. That way the glue is always towards the nozzle. If you stand it up each time, then you have to tip it over and you have to wait for the glue to go back down towards the nozzle. It's just a little time-saving tip. Then we have this yellowy beige kind of wonky piece. So it fits down in the bottom right quarter. I'm going to leave that orange border around it. Next, I'm going to add our big floral piece to the corner, and I have added some foam tape to the back of that to kind of pop it up for some dimension. And then I'm going to add the little brown strip going across the top. And the flowers for the top corner up there, I've also added some foam adhesive. An extra little white flower here I'm going to add. And then I've got our sentiment strip that says Autumn Blessings. I'm just going to tuck that in with the florals here. And here's our next card. I think I'm going to leave this one just like that. I love this florals on this one. This is a really pretty card. So this one is Happy Fall, and we've got some leaves and a little fox peeking out of them. I create these quick card kits with lots of layering pieces, so you really feel like you're designing and putting together really nice, intricate cards. But they're really simple to put together. So this frame piece has an inner piece that just pops out. Now you can keep this and use this for something else. It's a perfectly good frame to use, but it is an extra piece. First, I'm going to glue down this light tan piece to the card base. Before I adhere the frame down, we've got some green stripes that go behind it, and they are just the width of the frame. So you want to make sure before you put them down that you see where the frame is going to sit, and centered it has the 1/8 of an inch border on each side. So I'm going to glue these green strips down first and then put the frame on top of them. So I'll start with one about in the center. I just kind of eyeballed it, and I'll put one above that and one below it. Again, before we put the frame down, I have a white circle that's going to be where our leaves are going to sit, and I want that to go behind the frame as well. So I'm going to leave the frame in place, and then I'm going to glue the circle just underneath it. There, now I'm ready to glue the frame piece down. Now we're ready to add our leaves. I'm going to go ahead and add our sentiment strip that says Happy Fall. I'm going to put the acorns in the corner. And one of the acorns I've added some foam adhesive so it sticks up, pops out from the other one. So here's our card so far. It's really cute. And you could leave it just like this with just the leaves, the acorns, the Happy Fall. Makes a nice card. Or you could add the little fox, or I believe there's an extra little bunny in the kit also that you could add the bunny if you wanted. Put the fox here, and he's just kind of peeking through the leaves. I think he's really cute. I'll add some gold glossy dots to finish it off. And here is our Happy Fall card. Another cute one. For our next card, we have another one that's in the vertical orientation, and it's for all the pumpkin spice lovers in your life. Isn't that bear just cute peeking out of that little pumpkin spice drink? We've got some pumpkins to go along with it. Sentiment, pumpkin spice, and everything nice. Let's get this layering piece down on the card base. We've got a cute polka dotted strip here that's going to go right there on the left-hand side. Next, I'm going to add the scallop square piece on the top portion of the card in the center. All right, now we're ready to add our cute little drink, the bear peeking out, little cinnamon sticks. I've added foam tape to the back, give it a little bit of pop and dimension. And then we'll add some little pumpkins around the bottom of the cup here. And then we'll add our sentiment on the bottom. And here's this card all finished. So adorable. And no judgment here, but I'm not a coffee drinker. I've never had a pumpkin spice anything. I like the idea of it. It's really cute. Our next card is going to go more horizontal. So I will start by gluing down the background piece. And this one is going to fit just within the card, so it has a little thin white border around it. All right, for the other pieces of this card, we've got some rectangular patterns, and we're just going to put them kind of crooked. One going this way, one going that way. Just adds more color and pattern to the background. We've got a sentiment strip that goes the length of the card almost here. And we've got a little semicircle piece, this light tan, that's going to go just above the sentiment strip. All right, so here's our card so far. Now we get to add the little fun pieces. It is helpful to play around with the pieces before you add the adhesive to the back, so you can see exactly where you'd like them to go. I'm going to add a few of the enamel dots to this card. And here's another finished card. Start each day with a grateful heart. I really like that sentiment. Moving right along, we've got another card that's horizontal. And I'm going to start by adding the large green piece to the front of the card base. Next is the smaller rectangle with all the colorful hearts. I love this paper. It's like little watercolored hearts. Then we have another smaller piece, yellow with brown border, and it says, "You're the pick of the patch." We're going to add that in the center. We have a scallop piece that goes on next. And that's where our adorable bear peeking out of this pumpkin is going to sit. Now, I didn't add any dimensional foam to the bear because I added it to the pumpkins that are going to go kind of in front and off to the side and have them pop up a little bit. Now let's add our pumpkins. Again, I've added some foam adhesive to the back so they pop up just a little bit. All right, most of the card is done. I've got these 3 little orange banner pieces to go off the side over here where the sentiment is. Just adds a little extra something. And there is the finished card. I love how these little 3 pieces here, although not much, they just balance this side of the card with this side of the card, with the pumpkin going off over into the green a little bit. I think it looks adorable. For our next card, we're going to be vertical again. I'm going to add the base piece to the card. I'm going to add the next layering piece. It kind of centers on the base piece, and it has this fun shape on one side and a really pretty pattern, watercolor triangles. Next, we're going to add a strip of green just down the left-hand side, just leaving a little bit of that pattern showing. Just adds a bit more color to the card, and it helps to bind everything together. And what I mean by bind together is so that this rectangle doesn't look like it's just floating there in the center, which it could. It has a border around it. It would look nice. But the green just kind of adds a little bit more of a design to the look. So we've got these two pieces to put together. The bottom one says thankful for you, and then we're going to add the apple tree piece on top of that. Now we have a couple more pieces to add. Got a little bushel of apples. I'm going to add over to the side here. We've got a bear in his overalls, and he's leaning against his ladder, ready to pick some more apples. I've added foam adhesive to the back of the bear and also the ladder. The image in the guide shows the ladder directly over the apple tree, but you can see through the ladder. And that's because I put the images for the guide together digitally before I prep the pieces for cutting. So what happens when you prep the piece for cutting, you have to give it a white border in order for the machine to be able to cut around the piece. So you're not going to see through the ladder, but that's okay. We're going to place the ladder a little off to the side. You still see the apple tree perfectly fine. Just like so. And then I'm going to put the bear leaning on the ladder right next to it. And there you have it. It's a thankful for you card. Just perfect for just giving just because. We're on our last card. I can't believe it. I've had so much fun putting these together. I'm going to start by gluing down this fun confetti looking piece to our card base. Next, we have a brown and white strip to add towards the bottom. And now we get to create our cute scene with our little fox and our raccoon roasting their marshmallows over a fire. So I'm going to start by gluing down the fire in the center. I've added some foam adhesive to the two critters here so they pop up a little bit. There we are. Now I'm going to glue the sentiment. I'm going to put it just under the little fox's ears there. And now I'm going to glue down their little sticks with the marshmallows. Oh, that's cute. And then I'll add our finishing touch with some of the glossy dots. And there we have it, our last card. Thanks again so much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed these cards we created from our Quick Card Kit Autumn Cuties. You can find this kit and more over at pinkandmane.com or ask your local retailer. And until next time, my friends, keep living the creative life.